welcome to my channel on the best of fantasy. The fall is nigh, the season that is, which means it is time for another highly aspirational TBR video from yours truly. I had a very good summer, didn't read everything that I wanted to, but read a lot of cool stuff. And you will notice here in this pile that for the first time in a very long time, there is no Malazan book in my seasonal TBR, which is kind of sad to me, but also it is occasion for celebration as well. I have finished my reread of the Malazan Book of the Fallen and my read of novels of the Malazan Empire, hence no Malazan books here. However, there is good news. I have still not yet had my discussion with AP Canavan from A Critical Dragon on those two books that finished those respective series, The Crippled God and Assail. And those conversations will be happening, hopefully involving the authors. So that is something magnificent to look forward to. And there will be future books, of course, by Stephen Erickson and Ian Esselmont. So we'll be talking Malazan plenty in the future of the channel. But for the fall, let us see, what am I up to? Well, my current read is, it's a self-published book. This is actually not the cover. This is, I have here in my hands an ARC, and it is called The Severing Sun by Von Roycroft. This is a book that I am currently not quite halfway through and thoroughly enjoying. And I will be reviewing it soon. Hopefully, I will have an image of the real cover to show you. This is a book that I believe will be coming out in October. And I am very excited to be among the very first, perhaps the very first, to review it. I'm not sure. But I am very excited because I'm really loving this book so far. I'll have plenty to say on it when I review it in the near future. And what else am I up to? Well, I have actually not yet discussed them on the channel, but I did read the first two books of Vinland Saga. That's right, I am reading manga for the first time in my entire life, which is actually really fun because, A, it does bring back the memories from when I was a kid reading wonderful comic books. It was something that I was very open to all along, was a medium that combines the visual along with the written word because I was a huge comic book fan, still am, and I was obviously curious about manga, and this has turned out to be the perfect recommendation for me, Vinland Saga. This is book 3, and I guess books 1 through 4 are the first arc of the series, and I have read the first two, and I will be in discussions about the first two books very soon with Murphy Napier, and I am so incredibly excited for that. So, yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was a result of my conversation with Murphy when she was a guest of mine for Dear Dr. Fantasy, and she very kindly made this recommendation, which has turned out to be perfect for me, also because Vinland Saga, as probably most of you know, takes a lot of inspiration from the Icelandic sagas, including the two sagas known as the Vinland Sagas, where a lot of these characters get their origins from. And the author, Makoto Yukimura, has certainly given them his own stamp. This is his own spin on the story. But I have quickly found that he is very well informed and has done his homework. He's done a really brilliant job of including not just those two sagas, but lots of other sagas, lots of other Icelandic lore and stuff. He did his research, absolutely. So I'm really enjoying this, and I'm so excited to talk with Murphy about Vinland Saga, and I will be continuing to read, most certainly, because this has been a blast. I'm actually surprised at how much I'm really enjoying this manga. So, and I don't know, because of course I am, Old English and Old Norse, that's my wheelhouse. So obviously this was going to be one that would pique my interest. So I'm curious to find out in the future if this fun will transfer to other manga. So we'll see. But I'm enjoying this one for now a whole lot. And one from the summer, actually not even the summer. I've been telling people that I'm going to read this for a long time. This time I can almost guarantee, because these first few books, by the way, these are definites in the next few weeks. So I am going to read, please don't watch my last TBR video where I said this, but this time I really truly mean it. I am going to read R. Scott Baker's The Darkness That Comes Before, the first book in the Prince of Nothing trilogy, and part of a longer series as well. So I'm committed to at least reading the Prince of Nothing trilogy. And I am curious, as I've said many times before, to try out R. Scott Baker's writing. He is certainly a very highly acclaimed author, someone with a graduate background in philosophy, which certainly I think people would agree inform his fantasy writing. So I'm really excited to try this out. And I will be doing it once I finish The Severing Sun. That is major priority here, so you should be seeing a review from me on The Darkness That Comes Before. And a bunch of people wanted to be in a discussion about this book as well, and I'm certainly open to that too. You know who you are. We'll see how many of them have actually read the book at this point too. But anyway, I digress. Another book I can guarantee I'm going to get to, and I'm a little bit late on as well, is the final book in the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. It is The Dark Tower, Book 7. And I have been singing the praises of this series all along as I've been reading it. I'm delighted to be on the final book. I had a blast, an absolute blast with Song of Susanna, which I felt like from listening to the fans was the sort of the dividing point for a lot of readers of the series. Even so many Stephen King fans have expressed to me how much they don't like Song of Susanna. I'm looking at you, Mike. But I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. So, that being the case, I expect that I will also love Book 7 of the series. And I will be finding out very soon. What else have I got here? Oh my, look at this. It is actually books 2 and 3, but you'll see just the Ships of Merrier on the cover here, but it includes books 2 and 3 of the Wars of Light and Shadow, because the hardcover edition does include books 2 and 3 of the Wars of Light and Shadow by Jenny Wirtz. This is a series that I have started. I put out a review just a little while ago of Curse of the Mistwraith. That is book 1 of Wars of Light and Shadow. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I feel like it's the beginning of something vast and epic and rich and incredible. I get similar feelings to Realm of the Elderlings, the Malazan Book of the Fallen, that sort of thing. I really loved Curse of the Mistwraith, and I expect it to be an incredible journey to read the Wars of Light and Shadow. And so I'm excited to get to Ships of Merrier. I'm not sure exactly when, but I anticipate once we have our discussion, we meaning the group of people, that's Joanna and Jimmy and AP Canavan. Once we have our discussion of the first book, Curse of Mistwraith, then I will soon after begin the second book, Ships of Merrier, and I'm really excited for this. Speaking of Realm of the Elderlings, Robin Hobb, the marvelous Robin Hobb. I eventually do hope, perhaps in the fall, to also get to my reread of the Farseer trilogy, and here is book 1, Assassin's Apprentice. So, I am absolutely delighted with the idea of returning to the Realm of the Elderlings, and this time finishing the entire series. I'll be taking my time and hopefully talking to my buddy AP about this series. And I'm so excited for it. And I'm also really excited because I got this beautiful edition, this illustrated edition from Alan and Joanna and Jimmy. Thank you very much, guys, for my birthday over the summer. So that is going to make this all the more fun to read when I get to it. And we will kick off the Realm of the Elderlings reread/read, because I have read the first 2 trilogies, including Farseer and the Lives of Traitors, but I need to read the rest of the Realm of the Elderlings. It's one of my big priorities for my fantasy reading. And the rest of these, including Assassin's Apprentice, I'm not exactly sure the order. I just stacked them here this way because it's just easier to have bigger books on the bottom and smaller ones on the top. But I'm pretty confident that very soon I will be continuing in Book of the Ancestor by Mark Lawrence. I read Red Sister, the first book of the trilogy, and loved it. And I anticipate that the same will be the case for Grey Sister Book 2 and also Holy Sister Book 3. I'm pretty confident I'll be able to get to those in the fall. And I'll be probably putting them in between some of the bigger reads while I'm at it. These are not small reads either. There's kind of small print in here, but they're not humongous. And just, I always have such a, I always feel so, it's interesting. Mark Lawrence is a great writer for me because I really find that he hits that perfect balance between, this is not hard to read, the pages fly by for me usually, but at the same time I find them very clever and interesting and challenging. So that's just perfect. That is perfect for me. And I'm very much looking forward to what's going on with Nona here in Grey Sister. So yeah, that is going to be a lot of fun. And I do want to get to finally some Gemmel here. Another book I've been talking about forever and getting to. It's one that AP and I have been talking about reading together, perhaps. He's a big Gemmel fan, and I am a wannabe Gemmel fan because I haven't read his books yet. And I keep hearing about how he is the inspiration for so many authors that I love. So yeah, like John Gwynne, for example. And I'm just, excited to read this. Everybody talks about Druss, however you say it, and the first book in the Drenai series. So we're going to go with Drenai first, and eventually, hopefully, read his other series, the Celtic one. So yeah, I'm just so excited for this. And got to read some more Discworld. I need some more Discworld in my life. So I've purchased a few of the Discworld books. I want to read the Witch ones, and I want to read the Mort books, as well as eventually continue in the City Watch. I read Guards. Well, it was probably a little while ago. I can't remember exactly when, but I loved it. And I've read a couple other Discworld books, but these are the ones that I want to get to. So I'm going to start, I think, with the witchy ones. I got a couple of them. I've got, what's the other one after this? Weird Sisters and Equal Rights. And I've got the Mort book. So yeah, I want to read some, put a little laughter into my life with Terry Pratchett, with Sir Terry Pratchett. And of course, I'm going to be continuing with the Dresden Files. I'd really like to get to at least 2 more Dresden Files books this year. I am on book 6 now, Blood Rights, and I feel the lure of the Dresden Files. I am not quite at that point where I am completely just sucked in, can't possibly finish one without picking up the next right away. So I'm not quite there. But the fans are telling me I'm going to get there, so I believe in them, and they've been right about everything so far in regard to Dresden Files, so I'm really excited to continue in this series. Blood Rights, I've been warned, for many people is not their favorite installment, so I will keep my expectations a little bit lower, perhaps. I really loved book 5 of Dresden Files. That one was, for me, so far, the best in the series. But I'm told they get even better down the line. So we shall see. But I have a couple of these already on my shelves, and we'll be continuing in the Dresden Files. Another book that I've been meaning to read for a long time and picked up and decided, let's just do it, is Samuel R. Delaney's Tales of Navarian. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm going with the accents here, Navarian. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Actually, I believe that what this is a collection of 5 interlocked tales that take place in this fictional place. So I'm really excited to try this out. I hear good things about the author, and I'm really curious to give it a try. It's one I've been hearing about for years and meaning to read. And another one I've been hearing about for a while and meaning to read. I really want to start the Books of Babel by Josiah Bancroft. This is an author I hear great things. Alan particularly has talked a lot about Josiah Bancroft's Senlin Ascends and the rest of the books in the Books of Babel. and lots of people have spoken very highly. And the other thing is, from what I hear about this series and how different it is from pretty much everything else, I think I'm going to really love this series. I think this is going to be a winner for me. And I do have all 4 books. I've purchased all 4 books and anticipate that I'm going to have a great time reading the Books of Babel. So I hope to get to that, at least the first book this fall, and maybe the second in the winter before the year ends. We'll see. A book that I'm committed to reading, and a little behind on my one self or indie press published book a month. So I am actually, the one I had before, The Severing Sun, was supposed to be August, but it's now September. This one was supposed to be my September read, probably going to be late September at the earliest. More realistically, it's going to be in October. Which is appropriate. That's sort of a very nice October-looking tree there. So yeah, we'll justify it that way. Regardless, I'm very much looking forward to A Touch of Light by Tiago Abdallah. Hear great things. Quite a few people, like Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, have spoken very highly of this book. And so I am excited to give it a try. I hear lots of great things about this self-published masterpiece. So let me see how I like it. It's part of the Ashes of Averin, book 1. Averin, sorry if I mispronounced that. And another one I want to try out that I've been hearing about for a while, among other people. My daughter has told me about this one, by A Stranger in Alondria by Sophia Samatar. And that is one that is about a character who leaves a world where there are very few books to enter a world where there are lots of books, and that sounds attractive to me right away. But I think there's some pretty important themes that take place in the process. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this book is about. I hear really good things about it. I think it's a very thoughtful, theme-driven read. So I am looking forward to seeing what it's all about. And I have, speaking of theme-driven, here I have by Gene Wolfe the first 2 books in the Book of the New Sun. And I also have the second 2 books. I guess these are collected into an omnibus edition. But yeah, this one is called Shadow and Claw. It's the first half of the Book of the New Sun. And then I have the other half, books 3 and 4, collected together. Very much looking forward to reading this, which a lot of people say is one of the masterpieces of speculative fiction. And I've been encouraged to read this book for a long time, and I do hope to get to at least the first book, maybe the first 2, in the fall. I've been telling people I'm going to read this thing in the latter half of this year, and we are rapidly approaching. We're in the latter half of the year, aren't we? So yeah, I have it ready to go. And my next self-published read, the one I had for October, so it may happen in later October, if I can catch up with my self-published reads. And I'm actually really excited to read this. Patrick Leo has reviewed this already and spoken very highly of it. It is Sons of Darkness by Gaurav Mohanty. And it is in part inspired by something that I consider to be one of the greatest works in all of human history, the Mahabharata. And so, yeah, I'm very, very, very excited to read anything that takes inspiration from the Mahabharata. Has got to be something that will pique my interest. And I hear good things as well. So I am excited to read Sons of Darkness. And I believe that I will be in a discussion with some great people on this as well. The lovely Joanna has invited me to join a group of people reading this book. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So I do need to read it in October in order to be in that conversation. So that's a good motivation for me. And a couple others here. Really been meaning to read this. But China Mieville, Perdido Street Station. It is about time, I'm sure some of you would agree, that I read some China Mieville, and Perdido Street Station really seems like the logical place to start. And this is a book that I've heard a lot of praise for. It is something different, and it's fantasy. And I'm in the mood for something different sometimes. And I also hear that it's very thoughtful. and difficult to categorize. So that automatically gets me interested. And finally, I have Kings of Ash here. It is book 2 of the Ash and Sand trilogy by Richard Nell. I read Kings of Paradise a little while ago now and loved it. And I've always meant to finish this trilogy, the Ash and Sand trilogy. So I am very much looking forward to returning to the world that Richard Nell has created here. Although I wouldn't want to return in person, just in a book. And I wouldn't want to meet Ruka in person, but I don't mind reading about him so much. So yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. And that's kind of what I picked out for my fall reads. That's a lot of books. We'll see what I get to. I did say highly aspirational. I always cover myself that way, you'll notice. But whatever I get to, I'm sure it's going to be a ton of fun. I look forward to discussing some of these books with some of my fellow YouTube people, the ones who make videos. What are they called? Content creators? Whatever. Booktubers, yes. I look forward to discussing some of these books with them and with everybody in the comments as well. It is going to be a fun fall. That's it from me for now. Till next time.